Okay. Vito. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man.
Hey, man, say, man, what it do? What it do? Still with the camp. Shot like a lamb, big boss, K-Po, talk boxing. Fucking my soliloquy. Remember, tough times don't last. Good people do. When I myself caught him in the fight, like, remember, you matter. Peak game, made the foes on West Wing. All right. So, Jermell Charlo called out dang near everybody at 154. Jermell Charlo has been training. You know, he's posting videos on his Instagram of him shadow boxing and things of that nature. You know, he getting to it. He ready. He looks sharp, look crispy, you know. And he letting everybody know that, you know, he with it, you know. Potentially, he's going to be probably getting a title shot for Terrence Crawford's vacant WBA belt, right? Against Baru, or whatever his name is. I forgot. The German guy that beat Tellez. So it's very plausible that Charlo, which I'm picking him to beat that guy, you know, could be a champion again, right? So, which could maybe spring up him and Spence to fight for a championship, right? But that's water under the rug. We don't know, that's speculation. But according to Errol Spence's, I think it's his little cousin. He fights in the amateurs. I think his name is Jacob Spence. He sent a message to Jermell Charlo, and basically he said we would do him worse than Canelo did. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I like that. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? You know, now Errol not really much of a talker. You know, he'll talk when he in your face, but you know he ain't gonna talk on no internet. That's not Errol Spence. Errol Spence is, you know, calm, cool, collected. He be cooling. You know what I'm saying? He one of them dudes, man. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. You would think Jermell Charlo and them from Dallas and Errol from Houston. That lets you know the different cultures of the two cities. You know, Houston, man, boys is more laid back. We chilling. We more player. You know what I'm saying? We don't be doing all that talking and all that animation. We don't be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? We be cooling. Whereas Dallas, you know, they more like vibrant, you know, loud, showy. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look at me. That's what it is. It don't mean that they bad people. They good people. You know what I'm saying? So it just show you the different cultures. You know what I'm saying? Of both cities. Houston more like, you know, I say this, my era Houston. This new Houston is different. I'm gonna say old Houston. My era Houston is more like we cooling, we coming down. You know what I'm saying? Like, boys ain't, you know, we ain't trying to be seen. We don't care about none of that. We trying to be player. You know, that's what it is. We ain't worrying about being animated. We ain't worrying about being seen. We ain't trying to do none of that, right? But I think it's a good fight. I think Charlo and Spence would be a great fight, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a fight that that will bring everybody out, man. I think it'll break records. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you. And the reason why I say that is because you got two dudes from Texas who, when they at their peak, you know, they were, you know, putting on masterclass fights. You know, they was knocking people out, you know, and they was fighting the best fighters. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't running from no smoke. So, you know, you got to pay respect to Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence. So, you know, if they get to fight each other, man, you know, that's I'm telling you, boss gonna be at that murder. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I'm not really a fan of going to the fights, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, I'm not like a sociable person. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'm more of a, like I say, I'm more chill. You know what I mean? I be chilling. The only time you really see me talking is on here when I talk boxing. Other than that, like, I be cooling. You know, I could be in the room with you and you won't know I'm in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of dude I am, bro. You know, but this particular fight, man, boys might have to pull up, you know. Texas might have to show out, you know what I'm talking about? So, I don't know, man, but that boy Charlo's cousin, he said, "We gonna do you worse than Canelo did." You know, it's a dangerous fight for both of them, right? Because it's kind of like both of them at a crossroads, you know, because they both coming off a loss. They both coming off a 2-year layoff. You got Charlo, who's like an explosive puncher. You got Spence, who is a welterweight, moved up to 54. You know, hasn't fought the weight class yet, but sparred many rounds with Charlo, so he knows Charlo, right? So it'll be a very interesting matchup, right? You know what I mean? Because these two know each other every move. You know what I mean? You know, but I think Errol gonna be Errol. I think Errol gonna try to utilize that jab and try to break Charlo down. Whereas Charlo, I think, gonna look to try to counter Errol and run him into something. You know what I mean? So I love the fight if it was to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. We'll see. You know, we'll definitely see how this thing go. But, you know, Errol cousin, you know, according to on the internet say, "We gonna do you worse than Canelo did." I like that. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Boss gone.